7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm
like, well, holy shit, that was crazy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show, presented by TLR Coatings. Make sure to check them out for all of your powder coating needs. And we are here wrapping up the Indy round now. This isn't our usual record time. We usually record these on Sunday. We are actually doing a Saturday night post-race. So if we say some things that aren't 100% accurate because some stuff changes in the next 24 to 48 hours, that's the deal.
Don't yell at us.
Don't yell at us. So let's get through this stuff first. Like I said, presented by TLR Coatings. They are our sponsor for the year, so make sure to check them out at tlrcoatings.com. Make sure to follow us on Facebook as we do our Thursday preview shows on there, and we have been making it happen, and we will try to make it happen again this week. But like I said, work schedules between the two of us, and I have a real busy week, so I don't know if it's going to be both of us, just me. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out as the week progresses. Live in wonder. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel here because we will do our wrap-up shows each and every week here, and as well as our preview show for the Great Outdoors will be coming up. We're actually going to probably film that. I think we talked about next week,
yep,
right?
The off week.
And then we'll post it right the week after, probably the off week, or one of the first off week there between indoors and outdoors. So also you can follow me on Instagram at Travis Ridenour. I post my fantasy picks for the week. I post pictures of dirt bike stuff sometimes. I don't know, I just post whatever I'm into for the day. And I've talked to three of you on there now. If you do want to support the channel, since YouTube decided that we can't do that anymore, Amazon links down below. There's been a few of you that have bought some stuff, so thank you for those of you who have. You can support us on Patreon, and we had our first one. Shit, I can't think of the kid's name. It was Adam. Maybe it was Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Whoever you were that donated on Patreon, thanks. You'll have something coming in the mail here this week. Hopefully, I can get it out. If not, you'll get something before Supercross is over.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, Patreon, I'll link that down below in the description. Or you can buy t-shirts, which I've heard there's a couple floating around out there now. At least one, if not another, going out. I'm not really sure. There's at least one. teespring.com/Moto Aftermath Show shirt. Well, I don't know. It's in the link's in the description down below. Buy a t-shirt. We might get some at some point.
It's possible.
I don't know yet. Anyway, so we're wrapping up Indy here. The track was kind of like typical Indy. Broke down like hell. Turned to shit.
Got super soft compared to last year, and that's because of the weather changes we've had here lately, where it's gone from cold to a little bit warmer, back to cold, to rain, to snow. And
well, you know, 6 to 12 inches of snow there today. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice day.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it didn't do that in Michigan.
Yes.
I don't know. I think if it would have broke down like it did last year and just get typical, you know, ruts at the exit of the corners, and actually the faces still stay pretty clean, I thought it was a good layout. I think it flowed well. There was some separation because you really had to hit your marks perfect, but with as soft as it got, as thin as the faces got, as G'd out as it did through the whoop section and stuff, you know, the one main rut through the middle, yeah, it was very one line by the LCQs.
I didn't feel like it was that great. I didn't feel like it was a good race track.
It was hard. It was hard. I mean, you know, it got one to the point that even the 450s weren't hitting the fast lines by the end of the night.
Yeah, I felt like they built a lot of those faces really, really steep. So,
oh, yeah, kind of like the one after the finish. That single, the table, the backside roller section was really dumb. Yeah, no, it's... I liked the layout, but like I said, the fact that it got super soft it was not conducive to good racing by the end of the night. No, it was horrible. So... And then, yeah, the whoops all funneled into that one single rut in the middle. Yep. Even when you went to the outside, it just kind of forced you into that eventually. Yep. So, yeah, all in all, it was kind of an track. But the racing was okay for how bad the track was. Yep. So, anything else you want to talk about with the track before we move on to the racing action here? Because we've got a lot to talk about. Nope,
so,
good.
Okay, moving on. so 450's here.
Wildest 450 race I've seen in a long time.
That was nutty. That was really, I don't even know, where do we start?
Eli Tomac is...
let's start at the beginning with the start.
Hey, wait, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we got the start, and we have Anderson on the ground.
And we're thinking, oh man,
God.
here we go.
Oh,
now
buddy.
we got a storyline.
Yeah.
Now we got a storyline.
Faded away as the time
Well, I mean, dude, you know what?
he run a great race.
We got, are we finally, and it's crazy to think finally because he's done it for 12 rounds now. Jason Anderson is not Jason Anderson anymore. He is Ryan Dungey reincarnated. He's Ryan Dungey reincarnated.
Yes, he is.
He does not, even when his bad nights happen, he still gets a top 5. Now, granted, there were some crazy things that happened, but everybody was waiting for the other shoe to drop. They're like, oh man, you know, Ando, he's finally, everything's clicking. He's finally living up to his potential. But when's the bad race going to happen? Here to tell you, folks, bad race ain't going to happen. That's not happening. Jason Anderson is not.
He has ripped the page out of Ryan Dungey's book and taped it in his own personal
Yeah,
journal.
he is not. The mistake's not going to happen. It's not. Because we talked about this a million times. He could even crash, hit the deck, and now he's dead last in the first turn and still get a top 5. So he's not, and yes, you know, people could say, well, oh, Cole Seeley wasn't there. Oh, Barsha wasn't there. Roxon, well, you race the people that you got to race, and guess what? He's gotten top 5 every time that he's hit the deck other than Daytona.
Yes.
So it's not going to happen, folks. Jason Anderson, barring a bike malfunction, he's going to be your 2018 Supercross champion. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Like, I hope we're at the point now that everybody's just like, hey, you know what, bad race ain't happening.
Yep. So, and then Tomac in second, pretty much pace of Marv.
Eli Tomac is going to Eli Tomac.
Eli Tomac's going to Eli Tomac. God, he is. I think the best part about the whole thing is he crashes, sits on the hay bale for...
Shakes his head probably for 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
And then just decides to start racing
And
again.
just decides, hey, I'm going to go out and keep riding. And then continues and gets 16th. Like,
I'm gonna unlap myself.
Unlap myself. I'm gonna just pace with Anderson and everybody. Like,
okay, so and this is another thing. We're just at the point. You know, there's another show.
will you just say that he is the James Stewart of this era?
Eli Tomac is gonna Eli Tomac. He's gonna win one weekend by 20 seconds, and then he's gonna hit the
crash
deck
out the next.
And man, you know what? And we can't go into this, but I'll just, like I said to you during the race, this is why to me Eli Tomac will never win a Supercross championship.
Yeah, I can't really argue with you because it's unbelievable.
And we didn't even get to see what happened.
No.
We knew he hit the deck in the rhythm section, but I don't know if he was trying to 3 onto the table, 3 into the corner and framed it, whatever. But this is why I can never pick Eli Tomac for a Supercross championship.
Yep.
He cannot pull himself out of a hole consistently. He can win by 20 seconds one weekend, look like the fastest dude in the world, and then the next weekend. And to be honest with you, I know we had still had a lot of that main, but he was actually slowly losing toe to Marv.
He was.
Before that crash.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we had a lot of time left, but up to that point, nothing was showing us that Eli was going to just all of a sudden wick it up and make up 2 seconds a lap on Marv.
Which isn't really a shock, because I thought all day this was like going to be a track for Marv.
Tight,
breakdown,
deep,
yep. I was like, I should have picked him for fantasy, but I
should have
didn't.
too.
I let it go. I was like, no, Tomac looks too good. But let me just, I mean, we've already been over this, but for anybody who's watching this, just to catch up here, let's just read off this top 5. Marvin Musquin, Dean Wilson, Justin Brayton, Jason Anderson, Brock Tickle.
Oh, no.
Just let that, hold on.
Well,
let's let that sink in for a second. Okay, so.
Well, hold on, though. What was even better before this is your top 5 at one point was Marvin Musquin, Dean Wilson, Brock Tickle, Justin Brayton, Malcolm Stewart. That was your top 5 at one point during the main.
That's how you know it's a funky year.
That's how you know that shit has hit the fan.
When Dean Wilson, Justin Brayton, and Brock Tickle are all in the top 5.
And Malcolm's in the top 5.
And Malcolm was running top 5 for most of the race. That's how you know this year is screwed up.
Yeah, just when you think you can predict the 450 class, that happens. Which is funny, though, and even though
I don't even know what to comment on.
Well, it's odd, and we were just talking about this with Brock Tickle and Dean Wilson. What did we say in the last week's show? If they don't do something and pull their head out of their ass, they're not going to have a ride for next year.
Well, they got top 5.
And sure as shit, Dino gets a 2nd and Brock gets a 5th, but Brock was running 2nd, and all of a sudden his training mate decides to just run it in deep on him and take his front end out. And we had to rewind it and go, did that really just happen?
It did.
It did.
It did.
And I don't even think Brock Tinkle thought it was going to happen because he gets up going, what was that, dude?
What the hell? Yeah, that was wild. I don't know that they're going to be friends after that one for a couple of weeks.
Well, Dino apologized, and I like that he owned up to it. But yeah, see, the thing is that Dino ran it in deep. Brock did square down. But Dino had probably a good second and a half before he hit the entering of that corner to realize that Brock was probably going to square down early. And he just kept pushing it in.
If I'm Brock, I just walk straight up to him on Monday at the track and just fucking Liam Neeson throat chop him. Be like, seriously?
Yeah, man, you know, it's just, it's one of those wild ones. You got to give credit to them. They finally pulled their head out of their ass, but it's also like, you don't ever want to take something away from guys, but also in the same sense, you're like, well, did they really earn
just
the top?
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because this isn't an every week thing.
And, you know, now that there's news that Justin Barsh is probably going to come back in Seattle, that's another guy that we've been missing. So it's kind of like, enjoy the top 5 boys while you can, because no disrespect, you might not get another one this year. Yep. So just enjoy it.
But as wild as the 450s were,
the 250s
were wilder.
Yes.
So let's move on to those because we got some stuff to talk about with that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 250 East-West Showdown. The first one of the year. And it was exactly what we thought it was going to be. It was wild. It was wild all day. It started with qualifying, and we talked about this when as soon as you got here. The East guys did not put up a fight in qualifying, period.
No, your boy Zacho was a second slower than Savachi, AP, and even J-Mart's fastest lap time was like 8/10 slower.
It was a huge... I mean, J-Mart snuck into a 5th place qualifying.
Yeah, he got lucky.
And that was pretty much as... like, he was lucky that the West didn't sweep the top 5 qualifying. Then we get into the main, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, everything goes to crap.
So we go into the first corner. AC.
Of course it's AC.
AC and Savachi come over, chop off, basically in front of Zach and Plessinger. AC's foot peg snags the Suzuki bale, drags it into the middle of the track.
Zacho hits it. AP has nowhere to go.
Dead last.
I mean, dead last. They were 21st,
they were 21st and 22nd coming out of the first corner. So, and away we went.
And somehow, AP within a lap goes from 22nd to like 16th, and Zacho's riding around in 21st.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened on those first 2 laps. But
I don't either.
But AP was coming through like a madman. And meanwhile, at the front, Luke Rensland's running second. Like, what?
This is all I got for that.
I mean, you know what? He said, man, I'm sick and tired of getting 6th. I'm sick and tired of getting 6th. I can get top 5. Well, Luke Rensland, you got a shot. You got a good start, and you proved you can.
With twice the field.
Yeah, with twice the field. You can't do it in a normal East race, but yeah, you can do it in the West race. And, I mean, held on to 2nd place all the way down to, what, the last 2 laps it was, and then AC just, you know, I mean, AC did what AC did and got him in the rhythm section. I think it was right after the start. But, man, like, I know that the East guys, what was it? I think it was 4 West guys in the top 5, or top 10, and the rest was East guys. But are we... I don't want to take any credit away from the East guys, but a lot of the West dudes were stacked up in that first turn. Sexton, Plessinger, you know, Savachi went down. He had his problems. He had a meltdown. I don't know what happened there.
Savachi syndrome is what happened?
That wasn't a Savachi syndrome, dude. Everybody was struggling. He went down. But he was running like what? He was running 4th when it went down. Yeah, and he was pacing AC, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if he just mentally got on the groove. But Sexton, like I said, Sexton, AP, Mitchell had problems. Who else was? Somebody else from the West was down. I think that Hayden Melross was down in the first turn. So these guys did great. But, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm so sure that these guys are faster just because of that race. I think there was a lot of variables going on and stuff.
Well, we have another one, so we'll get to see this again.
But, how about J-Mart?
Dude.
You got anything to say about that?
I don't know what the hell's happening.
I mean...
He goes from, like, hitting the deck in, what, like, 8th, 9th, something like that, and then frickin' rattles off second, first. And
that was a pretty convincing first place.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, then again, it was a pretty convincing first place, but we'll play shoulda, coulda, woulda. AP and Zach get a start, or even AP, let's just say AP. Let's not even say Zach, because Zach didn't ride worth a shit all day.
No.
Let's say AP gets a start inside the top 10. He wins that race.
I believe so. I do.
He wins that race hands down.
I truly believe, because AP was my guy to win and stuff, but I still say even if AP gets a start, J-Mart gets second. I don't think I don't think anybody else beats J-Mart. And, you know, and it kind of with the struggles of Zacho, I mean, he rode good. He was struggling for the first 3 or 4 laps and worked his way up to, what was it, 6th? 6th, 1 behind Fortner, so he lost a point and stuff. But, I mean, he was off all day. And I don't know. It was crazy because Fortner, you know, he was bunched up with Joey and AC, and then they got away a little bit. You know, they were hitting the rhythms a little bit cleaner and stuff, and Fortner lost toe. And I think he kind of, once AP, he'd settled in, AP closed the gap, and he's like, oh, okay, you know, I got a little bit of energy and stuff. And then AP went around him and just slowly started inching away, you know, and I think that Fortner just said, hey, man, you know what? I don't know where Zacho's at. I'm not catching AP, and the track's gnarly. I just got to get it through. But I'm not so sure, even if Zacho and Fortner start up front, that they do anything in that race. I mean, they're faster than Luke Rensland, we know that, but they weren't faster than AP, they weren't faster than AC, and I don't think they even beat J-Mart, which is weird because, I mean, for the most part, Fortner and Zacho have had J-Mart covered this whole entire year other than Daytona. And it's like, where is this all of a sudden coming from? So, AP's got a 9-point lead, Zacho's got a 7-point lead on Fortner. I'm still going to stand by it. I said AP, after he took the points lead, that barring anything stupid, he was going to be my West champion. And we're going into the next 2 rounds, Seattle, and then a break, and then, well, actually 2 weeks, and then they go to Salt Lake, rutted tracks. I think AP's going to walk away with those, even if he crashes in the first turn. I think those tracks will be so soft. But this storyline of Jeremy Martin is what's interesting to me. He's what? He's 12 back now?
Yep.
He's 12 back. Jordan's 10th, 10th. He's 10 points back, and Fortner's 7th. If J-Mart rides like this in the next 3 rounds, and he can somehow, which is crazy to believe, get 3 wins in a row, I mean,
I don't see him putting it together. He struggles too much at Supercross to put a run like that together.
But the problem is when he rides like that, there's no if, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, but I don't see him doing that.
But he's had 3 good races in a row, though. I get what you're saying.
Maybe, because
this
is the year of, well, the data says this shouldn't happen, but here we are.
And 2-2-1 is hard to argue against.
Yeah.
I mean,
but then again, dude, you've been arguing against this all year, but dude, Zach has found a way now through, what are we through, 6 rounds, 5 rounds of the East? We're over halfway now, right?
Yeah, we're 6 rounds.
He's found a way to keep that red plate, even with the being tied. You know, and even today, look at today. He crashed in the first turn. He ran 21st for the first 3-4 laps, and we went, oh shit, here we go, because Fortner was way ahead. And next thing you know, end of the race comes along, and he's 1 spot behind him. He loses 1 point.
He does.
So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things again where it's almost like, well, if it's your year type thing, kind of like with Anderson. And what he's doing, I mean, with Zach, here we are again. Is it his year again to win the title? Because, dude, the way his season's gone, he shouldn't have had that red plate every single round. He shouldn't have.
No.
Plain and simple. Driving the Zach train, shouldn't have had it. He should have lost it to Fortner at some point here.
And I'm still on the bandwagon that I'm not so sure he has the points lead, so it's hard to argue it. But with the way he's rode this year, there's a really easy debate to go that he's not been the best guy. Because he is the red plate holder, so that's hard to argue. So that's kind of like I don't even know how you would argue against that he hasn't been the best guy. But it's like, okay, Fortner crashes last week, and you know what? You got to make it through. But he didn't pass Fortner straight up, and then he had 3 weekends in a row that he didn't get a win. So it's like, okay, he has the points lead, but has he only gotten the points lead because he's gotten a little bit of luck on his side, which is part of it. Like tonight, all the craziness of the East-West shootout and guys struggling and stuff, and nobody can really put in clean laps because of how gnarly the track was. But I still stand by it. If J-Mart rides like he did tonight and he can get 3 wins in a row, which the data will say that that's not possible, but 2-2-1 I was also hard to argue against, and Zacho has 3 races like he did tonight, and Fortner beats him, I mean, dude, we have another situation like we did last year going into Vegas. And I know Zacho's your boy, and this has been his year, because, whatever, just shit happens. But it's hard to think that he's not going to have another one of these races where, okay, he's dead last, but he gets in the top 5. But if J-Mart and Fortner are first and second, Like, that points lead goes away real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And the next race is the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And though we know that you got to get a start in those first 2 ones to make it count. And Zacho's starts have been pretty good other than tonight, but, you know, shit happens. I'm not thinking this championship's over with on the East Coast. I think the West Coast is done. I think I pegged AP to win it. I'd like to see Joey have a chance, but I think 9 points with the 3 tracks that we have to go, it's pretty much a done deal at this point. But part of me just thinks, man, that Zacho with his struggles lately, that I don't think this championship's over with, man. I mean, Fortner gets another win. That's 3 points. Then it's 4, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I still think the East Coast goes down to Vegas. And then at that point, it's like last year. It's a brawl.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. We got a week off, so this will be interesting to see what happens with the week off. Because we have a week off, and then we go to
Seattle.
But
then they go back to Minneapolis, and then Gillette, and then the West guys resume again.
Yeah, well, and then they go to Minneapolis. Minneapolis is a Triple Crown race.
Yeah, so it's like, man, I don't know, dude.
This is what's kind of funky for the East Coast guys, because you have a Triple Crown race, a regular race, fucking East-West shootout, a week off, or 2 weeks off, and then a Triple Crown race.
Yep.
So it's really kind of...
And if I'm in Zach Osborne's camp, man, I am not be like, hey, I got this. Like, I'm not saying that his guys are saying that, and, you know, Alden, they're like, okay, well, we got this. We got a 7-point gap. You know, we minimalized the mistakes tonight. But it's like, man, with a 7-point gap, what? I think last year, going into Gillette, he had the same amount.
Yeah, but the only thing is, okay, with the way this season's gone, when we look back at this in 10 years, all we're going to remember is, like, he won the title or lost the title.
Oh, yeah. We aren't going to think about other stuff.
I mean, because you were trying to bring up the point, like, well, he wasn't the best guy. Okay, but we're not going to look at he wasn't the best guy in 10 years, because there's not going to be a clear-cut best guy. Like last year, where you can say, well, Dungey wasn't the best guy because Tomac won 9 freaking races.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, like, there was a clear-cut reason that, like, we can specify he wasn't the best guy. With here, it's like, well, so-and-so won 2, so-and-so won a couple, he won 1, he won 1, he had a bad start. You know, there's just too many variables here to be able to look back at this in 10 years and say, well, he's not clear-cut the fastest guy there. It's just going to be like, well, Zach won the title in 2018, you know, so...
Well, and like I said, the only thing... Yeah, because let's see, we got... Well, they're going to only have 3 more races and stuff. Triple Crown will be crazy. The only way that I see this is if J-Mart wins out. If J-Mart can win the next 3, and I'm only basing this off of how he rode tonight. Not basing off of, you know, how his season has gone with him being 4th in the points. Tonight are the races why I argue so hard for J-Mart is when he is on... Everybody talks about he's not a Supercross guy, he's an outdoor guy. Well, when he rides like he does tonight, it's hard to say, well, oh, you know, he can't be good. He's just got to be mistake-free.
Yeah.
What is this?
He doesn't do it enough, man.
He's done it 3 weekends in a row now, though.
Well...
And he's 4th in the points.
Blind squirrel finds a nut.
No.
Dude, you were arguing Smith last week.
No! Jordan was my pick. Jordan was my pick. This is the argument about J. Martin Supercross. You can't dispute that he is not good at Supercross when he rides like this.
I mean, I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying about Anderson all year. When we get to the end of the season and we see what he's done then I'll go, well, okay, maybe this is happening. But for right now, I'm just going to stay off. I don't want to argue with you tonight. I don't want to argue with you.
Well, I'm telling you, if he wins the next 3 races, we're going to have to take a real hard look.
If he wins the next 3, there's a good possibility he wins this title.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because if he wins 3, I don't know that Zach goes 2-2-2.
And like I said, if he wins the next, even if he doesn't win the title, but he at least gets 2nd in the points, because that means he won, and wherever Fortner finishes, even if he finishes 2nd, J-Mart's going to be ahead of him in the points. I don't ever want to hear somebody ever say that J-Mart cannot ride Supercross ever again. Because that means he would have more wins than anybody else in Supercross this year. And he did it with getting, what, 6-6, and then what, 4th? A 6-6-4 to start off his 3 races or whatever it was?
Yeah, I don't remember, man.
So that's my biggest thing is that it pisses me off when J-Mart rides like this and people still say, oh, he can't ride Supercross. He just beat everybody. And he had the 2nd fastest lap of the night, or 2nd or 3rd, whatever. So that's my big argument is that when J-Mart rides like this, people can't say that he can't ride Supercross. Because he just went out and beat everybody. And what did he win by, like 5-6 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
so that's my thing is it just... J-Mart was never my pick for the title this year. Jordan was. Jordan had his issues. He got hurt today, hit the deck in practice. But when J-Mart rides like this, I don't want to hear people say, well, he can't ride Supercross because he just beat everybody. Straight up. There was nobody that was going to beat him.
Y'all hear that? You can never say it. Never. Don't ever utter those words.
Well,
I will all week.
It's hard to argue. Well,
just to rally you up.
But the thing is, he won, so you can't really say anything.
I know he did win. He did win.
If he got 10th,
he pulled another one out of his ass there. So.
No, it's not really pulling it out of his ass.
I mean, he just wishes he was taller.
Well, so does Zach Osborne.
Well, whatever, dude.
I'm just saying. My point is that I just don't like it when J-Mart rides like this. This is my point. This is why I'll always argue for him that he can be a Supercross guy. He just has to minimize the mistakes. And when he does, he's one of the best in the world.
Sure. Tomac could be a Supercross guy too if he would minimize his mistakes.
No, the difference with Tomac,
Supercross champion.
The difference with Tomac is that he's won a bunch of races.
That's Martin's problem. Martin won't win this title, dude. He's training with Tomac. He's gonna figure out a way to throw it away here and sit on a hay bale for 67 seconds. While
I mean, he could. He could. So we got a lot of different storylines going. We got a week break. People are gonna have to figure out. East Coast guys will probably start riding for outdoors and stuff.
Yeah, we don't got to make predictions tonight.
Oh, I'm not making predictions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we got a lot of different things going on and stuff. But I think pretty much AP has the West Coast Championship wrapped up at this point.
I wouldn't argue that too hard.
Which is going to be really shitty for everybody come outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's not. It's not good. It's not looking good with AP winning the title. It's not looking good.
No.
So, yeah, no, that was a crazy night. I think it lived up to the hype. And a little bit of a shout out to Blake Wharton for running top 10 for 5 or 6 laps.
Yes.
4 years away from racing. He ended up, I think, 14th. So,
not bad.
I think he gets a couple. I think he gets a top 5 in the West Coast before the end of the year.
Just way behind him, brah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you want
to
argue about with the 250s here before we wrap this up?
Nope.
We don't have to do a Thursday show either. I thought about that literally as
I was
we were
about to
talking.
say, Seattle's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we don't have a race this weekend. So, all right. So that's going to wrap up another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings here. Wrapping up the Indianapolis Supercross. For all of you who are down there, hope you all get out because it's snowy. We will not be back Thursday because we have an off week, so we are off, which is great because I'm super busy this week, so I didn't know how that was going to work out anyway. So we will be back next week, Thursday, with our preview show for Seattle.
Hopefully it doesn't rain, 10 inches of rain in Seattle.
Could be interesting.
And we're going to get moondirt again. We'll get moondirt again.
Moondirt mutter. Couple news updates. I played the Monster Energy Supercross video game for the first time this week and won a 250 West Supercross title.
Thought it was 250 East.
It was. Shit, I said that wrong. 250 East Supercross title, so you can just call me champion now. You're welcome. But anyway, yeah, so that wraps up another episode here. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Amazon links, Patreon. I'm just going to start spewing words. Pina colada, snorkel, peanut butter sandwich. Yeah, so that's been it for the Indy show. We shouldn't do these right after the race, man. Because I always drink during the race. It's a horrible situation.
Travis has been drunk this whole time and he forgot to tell you.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. We will see everybody in a couple weeks.